that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
All right, let's try that again. Hopefully without Justin ending the stream this time. No, but appreciate you guys tapping in. Make sure you smash that like button. It's the live post-game show here for the Detroit Red Wings, taking out the St. Louis Blues 5-2 on the road. A big win to start the road trip. And listen, they kind of needed this one just for themselves to get a little confidence. Obviously, this wasn't what they wanted to see when you talk about the road record to start this season, but you went out there in hostile territory in St. Louis, and you took care of business when you needed to the most. And that is something that really, really helped me. That is something that really took some weight off my shoulders, because after 2 away losses, you heard people going, oh, are they home ice merchants? Oh, is this a home ice team? Sorry. And before Justin came in here and just turned the stream off and left, we were talking about how much better the offense looked, and especially on the power play, we saw the possession in the zone was much better. They kept the puck in there longer, and they started seeing better opportunities, whether it was them bouncing it around, whether it was guys winning puck battles behind the net. They were showing much more tenacious and much more, I will say, concentrated efforts on the offensive side to get the puck around and to get good shots. Now, whether it was Mo Sider, whether it was ASP, whoever it was on the back end that was really power pointing some of those not only power play opportunities, but just offensive zone rushes, it really felt like they were more comfortable. They weren't spazzing as much, and we saw the forwards going through the neutral zone better. We saw the forwards gaining the offensive side better and making sure they weren't just dumping the puck in there and going to chase it. They were actually entering the zone with a purpose. They were maintaining the puck on their stick, and they were taking care of business. We talked about it a little bit with Justin before, again, he ended the stream and ran out of here to go to his dumb hockey practice for his dumb hockey team. No, shout out to Justin, but you saw Dylan Larkin once again take care of business. The captain has been playing like a true 1C so far this season. You have him going out there and making plays, 2 goals and an assist. They had the point play that was just absolutely beautiful. They talked about how it was a designed play from Edvinsson to Larkin to get him the puck right in front of the net, and he made no bones about it and absolutely poured one behind Binnington. So good performance by the captain. That line continues to go out there and take care of business. So that first line is one of the best in hockey right now, and they're continuing to produce at that level. So you just need to see them keep that up. Dylan Larkin to continue to orchestrate that well. We're now seeing Lucas Raymond looking like he's getting more comfortable. He's getting more healthy. We're seeing him be more physical, as Justin pointed out, to winning more puck battles, keeping the puck in the zone, using his body to shut off some defenders and make some things happen. But I'm just excited to see what this team can truly become, because you heard Simon Edvinsson tell Daniela Bruce after during the second intermission, like, he had 2 awful games, and he needs to go out there and be better than that. And he absolutely did. He's absolutely right. Those 2 games where the Red Wings got just slapped around, Simon Edvinsson was playing some of the worst hockey I've seen him play in a winged wheel. And this is coming off of probably the best 5-game stretch of his career for the Detroit Red Wings. So him on the back end being that solidified piece, really cementing that top 4 as something that not only they can rely on defensively, but the goaltender feels more comfortable when those guys are in front of him. So Simon Edvinsson playing the way he did during that 5-game win streak is extremely impressive. And we saw him in the second half of that game against the Islanders, and now not against the Islanders, the second half of the last game. And then in this whole game, he was much better. He was much more confident with the puck. He was doing the things we saw him do in the 5-game win streak, whether that was using his reach and his size to poke check and make sure that people aren't just coming into the zone unharassed. But I think Justin made a good point before he sabotaged the stream and ran away to go practice hockey, is that you saw the secondary members of this team step up. Obviously, the first line has been amazing, and Casper's getting there. He's getting more opportunities. He's getting more chances. He's going to break through. You see DeBrincat get another one. But the guys like the Bergerons and the Soderblooms, and we saw an extremely impressive shift for me at the end of that second period when it was Soda, Rass, Van Riemsdyk, Edvinsson, and Sider, and they just had this big unit out there protecting the puck, creating havoc in the offensive zone. St. Louis couldn't do anything because when they would get to somebody, they would just get bodied off the puck and they would continue to work on their offense. And St. Louis tries to dump it out, and the Detroit Red Wings make a great change to put Larkin, Finney, and Raymond back on there and just keep the puck in the St. Louis zone. They were putting so much pressure on St. Louis. The offense was taking care of business, and I love to see guys like Elmer and Rasmussen actually using their size, actually being physical presence both in front of the net and behind the net. Like, those guys are both 6'1", like they're both the biggest dudes on your team. You need them to be physical. You need them to win puck battles, and they were truly doing that this night in this game. And Adam Kerr says one of our best complete games all year. You're absolutely right. Like, obviously, St. Louis gets the first goal like 20 seconds into the game, but then after that, the Red Wings really just took control and really dominated this one. Like I said, it was extremely impressive for me to see this offense work in the zone the way it did, because that was just such a glaring problem in those two games that they lost. And when you see them maintain puck possession, the tape-to-tape passing on the power play and just in the offensive zone, while you're still waiting for Patrick Kane to get back in here, we know how well Patrick Kane controls the puck in the offensive zone. We know how important of a playmaker he is to both the power play unit and that second line. So I love to see that. I love to see the offense really step up, and James Van Riemsdyk had a good game. Mason Appleton had a good game. We talked about Soda. We talked about Rass. Those are the guys that you're going to need throughout the year, and it's going to look ugly at some points. This is a young team. There are a lot of players that are still trying to find out who they truly are in the National Hockey League. So they're going to go through a couple game stretch where they just don't have it, or where they just are getting out hustled, they're getting out physical, they're on a back-to-back, they get their ass whooped. That's what happens with a young team. But you have to bounce back. You have to listen to what Todd McClellan is telling you, and you have to go out there and you have to play fucking hockey. And we saw that. And you see, Zach Sherratt did stick up for ASP, and that was a big moment too. ASP got lit up a couple times out there, but the guys on the back end weren't letting him do that. And that is something you want to see from your veterans, because although Emmett Finney and MBN were leading the team in hits, you still need the physicality of those veterans on the back end. And Big Ben Sherratt is that one guy that'll go up to somebody and kind of punch him in the mouth. And when he is playing like that, you remember last year or 2 years ago when him and Lucas Raymond got into a fight at practice, and then they just ripped off 10 games of insane play to put the Red Wings right back into playoff contention? Like, you need that spark out of your elder statesman, out of your Gray Bush and Ben Sherratt. And he has been playing fantastic so far in this season. He has been a truly a top four defenseman on this team. He's blocking shots. He's standing up for the young guys. He's being a physical player and not allowing people to just camp out in front of the net. So Ben Sherratt has been a very good piece of this Detroit Red Wings defensive core. And yeah, we saw maybe Mo Seider got sat at the end of that game after he allowed that ugly goal, but those are things to learn from. That's not going to happen very often, and it's a 5-2 win, so no harm, no foul. Kim K thong gray bush? Maybe not the gray bush from the Kim K fake hair thong, but are the Red Wings back, man? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy all year that's going to be like, oh, we're back. And then when they lose a couple games and it looks ugly, it's over. Fire Eisman. Oh, we're back. Because that's what this season's going to be. Like I said, you're extremely young. You have a lot of guys that are still learning who they are in the league. And even your your top shelf guys, when you look at Mo Sider and you look at Lucas Raymond and you look at Marco Casper, they are still trying to establish themselves truly as top flight NHL players and top 6 and top 4 guys on their team. And so it's going to take a little bit. And it's going to look ugly in some spots, but you need the perseverance. You can't let that weigh you down, and you just have to look on to the next game. So this is a great win to get it in St. Louis to start this road trip. It's going to be a long, dragging one on the West Coast, but you started off with a big win against a very beatable Blues team. And Octopus says, no, not a wagon yet. All of the pieces of the wagon is there, but they're still putting it together. And remember, there are still pieces in the mail. There's still those nice little stickers you can put on the side when you're talking about a Carter Mazer or a Nate Danielson or whoever we're expecting to join this Red Wings team at some point. And those are only going to provide sparks. Now, we could talk about the play of Andrew Kopp. We could talk about the play of other guys on this team, but I truly thought that they went out there and they didn't let that first goal really get to him. And Zach says it here, right here. The Shen goal was right place, right time goal. Not too upset about it. Yeah, there's not a lot you can do in a situation like that. It's just bing, bang, boom, and it's in the back of the net. So you got to shake it off, and you got to take care of business against a lesser team, and that's exactly what the Red Wings did. So it was good to see them shake off that early goal, because we saw in the couple games in that losing streak and even going into last game that they snuck out, you get behind early, you get a couple penalties in the first period, you let a couple goals in the first period, and then things start to snowball. So you can't allow one bad timing play or one, I don't want to say lucky break, because he did what he had to do to get there, but one kind of soft goal to derail your whole game from the first period. And the Red Wings did not do that. And that is a good sign for these young players to have the mental fortitude to bounce back from an early goal like that, being, not hanging their heads and, oh, here we go again. No, they went out there, and Ben Sherratt, again, the gray bush, evens the game up, and he starts the scoring for the Red Wings, and that is something that gave them a little bit of a spark. So it was a very good game by Big Ben, and hopefully he can keep this play going. He's been playing some of the best hockey that I've seen out of him in a Red Wings uniform. He's been streaky since he's been on the Red Wings, where we see him have a couple week or a month stretch of where he looks like, okay, this is a legitimate top 4 defenseman. If he is your 4th defenseman, you're in pretty good shape. And then there's things where he looks like Dan Petrie 2.0, but I'm excited to see him playing how he is. It's helping Mo Sider. He is more comfortable. Elmer getting into the action, Elmer using the body. Yeah, you needed Soda to go out there and to really turn it up a little bit, because he is one of those fringe players that's like, okay, we love who you are, but man, you're running out of space on this team when you look at all these young guys that still have to come up and the ones that are already here. So it's good to see Soda get moving. He, again, using his length, using his reach to kind of pry that puck off the boards when people are trying to hold it up behind the net, and keeping his body upright and keeping his shoulder into the chest of people so he can keep the puck on his stick. It's what needs to happen. When you're Soda, when you're Rasmussen, you need to be big. You are big. Go out there and be big. I'm not telling you to fight everybody or to be Matt Rempe and just get your ass kicked every beat. No, but you got to go out there and you have to park in front of the net sometimes, and you have to go crash the backboards and win some puck battles. And we saw them both doing that in this game. The fourth line was great with the puck rotation. Yeah, they did a great job. And James Van Riemsdyk has been a very good addition to this one. So Wingnuts was 100% fight. Everyone, listen, if Hamonic's the guy fighting, I'm cool with that. But I was really, really pleased with what I saw about this. Like, I can't say it enough. The offense and just their ability to maintain puck possession and to keep good shots flowing at Jordan Binnington. Binnington was getting upset. And Jordan Binnington, you need to relax a little bit, buddy. Like, he got mad because Emmett Finney gloved one into his net. What are you going to – you're piping up on him, dude? You can relax, okay? So it was a great all-around game by the Red Wings. again, all of the little things that you like to see. You like to see Ben Sherratt sticking up for the rookies. You like to see Alex DeBrincat continue his when he's hot, he's hot. When he scores a goal, the floodgates kind of open. I'm surprised he didn't get a second one tonight, honestly, but you like to see that first line continue to do what they've been doing, just harassing teams and putting so much pressure on them. Both is Binnington always has fills his diaper. Yeah, he's he doesn't really show up to play unless it's game 7 of the conference finals. But you need to keep this going. It's going to be a long road trip. And this is the first, West Coast trip for these young guys in the NHL. So we'll see how they react to it. And we'll see if those legs can continue to show on the ice after they've been sitting up in the air for a long time. Was cracking up when Binnington stared down Finney. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are you trying to do here, man? You're gonna flex on a 20-year-old rookie? Like, congrats, dude. And so I wanted Binnington at some point, but that just pissed me off. And it really pissed me off. And this Red Wings team, man, I really hope that Patrick Kane can join them on this West Coast trip. It would be, I don't want to say concerning if he doesn't make the trip out to Cali with them, but that is somebody that obviously, like I said, brings so much stability to that top 6 and turns this power play unit that we've seen be hit or miss this season into a truly elite power play unit. And they weren't looking like it when he was in there in the first spot, but now we're seeing them get a little more cohesion, and they looked fantastic in this game against St. Louis. So hopefully that when Patrick Kane comes back, they can get a little more cohesion going. They get that puck flying around, bing, bang, boom, put a couple in the back of the net, and they're all spades on the power play. But I'm very, very happy watching this team, and you can tell that even though they're young, they've got the veteran pieces in there, like the Ben Sherratts, like the Dylan Larkins, like the James Van Riemsdykes, like both of the Tenders, that they will listen to Todd McClellan, and they I feel like are helping these young guys kind of listen to Todd McClellan, because he's not going to mince any words about it. We saw him bench Simon Edvinsson after his poor performance. We saw him bench Mo Seider for a little bit in this one. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what your standing is on this team. If you are making mental errors, if you are having big lapses in your game that result in goals or just poor play, he's going to sit you down. He's all about accountability. He's all about making sure that people are holding themselves accountable, and he needs to instill that in these young guys so they know that they can't get away with the poor play, with the lack of hustle, with not getting back on defense. He knows that when he benches a Simon Edvinsson, when he benches a Mo Seider, that sends a little ripple down to these guys like Finney and ASP, like, oh shit, Mo Seider just got benched. I got to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's. And it's worked so far. And Tom McClellan has been such a breath of fresh air for this organization over the past however many years of Lalonde and Blashill. It's kind of, I don't want to hate on Blash too hard, but having a guy that, respect is a bad word, but they listen to and they hear and they know, okay, he's got the playoff success. He has multiple teams with insane records in the playoffs when you look at Edmonton and San Jose and everything that he's done in his career. This is a guy who's won cups in Detroit. He knows what it takes. He worked under the biggest asshole of all time in Mike Babcock, so at least he's not that bad. But it's a good thing for this team to have a guy like Tom McClellan at the helm, because not only do the veterans respect him, but these rookies and these young players do as well, because they see how Dylan Larkin respects him. They see the track record. They know the track record that he has, and he's somebody that they listen to. And Danik says Grew and Blash were soft on the boys, and I agree. Like, this is hockey, man. You know, we're not playing soccer out there. You can't just go, oh, it's okay. It's all right. You let that 2-on-1 breakaway just go out there and didn't get back. It's fine. You'll get him next time. No, Tom McClellan's going to get in your ass a little bit, and you need that when you're in the heat of an NHL season and you've got all these young kids out there. You need a guy that is a calming voice, that is respected amongst the locker room, and that's exactly what Todd McClellan is. So it's good to see the early returns on this. And look at that. The Detroit Red Wings, they had a couple ugly games, about 2.5 games of extremely ugly hockey, and then they've turned it around, and now they won 2 in a row to go on to the road trip. So you got to keep that vibes going. You have to keep that level of play going. You have to keep attacking the puck. They put so much pressure on the defense or whoever it is trying to set up the play in transition behind the net. They have to make a pass and make it fast, because it doesn't matter if it's Casper or Finney or Larkin or Van Riemsdyk or whoever it is that's harassing that guy behind the net. They have to make a decision and make a decision fast, and that's where you see turnovers happen. That's where you see blown passes happen. That's where you see intercepts happen, and that's when the Red Wings are really on their best game, taking advantage of poor decision-making forced by their own back-checking, forced by their own hustle plays and attacking of the puck. So you got to keep it going. You got to keep up the level of physicality, and that starts with the top. It really does. When you see guys like Emmett Finney, who's not this super physical, imposing presence, leading this team in hits. When you see a guy like Dylan Larkin, he's grimy and he's a little grimy, but he's not this over physically guy going out there and getting his nose dirty, and the points that he is producing as a result of that, it inspires the big guys at the end of your lineup, whether it's JVR or Soda or Rass, to go in there and rat it up a little bit. And it's good to see the leadership of this Detroit Red Wings team really taking advantage of it and really helping the rest of these guys. Like Dylan Larkin has been one of the best players in the National Hockey League so far to start this season. He's playing by far and away the best hockey that he has in a Red Wings uniform, and he's going to have to keep it up. So I just can't wait to see what he's going to do the rest of the season. And we're really seeing something special. And with these youth, with the young guys, that March collapse, that leg falls out, I am getting less and less worried about, because you have the ammo to bring up more fresh legs whenever you want to. And Adam Kerr here says, MBN said this for tonight: I'm not going to be disappointed. As I said, I didn't expect to start there, but for now, I'll be working my ass off. And yeah, obviously MBN was doing well when he was playing. He didn't get the points, but he was playing physical. He was making things happen. He was attacking and, like I said, creating havoc behind the net and different things like that. But I don't mind the move of sending him back to Grand Rapids, because that'll give him time to play on a first power play unit, to play on a first line with a guy like Mazur, who maybe they'll be sharing minutes together when they both get to the Red Wings this year. So get him down into Grand Rapids, give him some confidence, let him put some pucks in the back of the net, give him a couple weeks, and then bring him back up, because I think MBN is going to be an important part of this team when you're looking, like I said, that stretch of March where this Red Wings team has just completely fallen apart the past couple of years. I think guys like MBN and Carter Mazur, who provide that grit, the fresh legs, the physicality, that is going to be an extremely important factor when you look at not falling into that March trap that we've seen. So I love what I'm seeing so far out of this Red Wings team, the way they bounced back from those two extremely, extremely awful performances, especially a guy like Simon Edmondson. Like I said, I love Simon Edmondson. I think he has the potential to be the best defenseman on this team when you look at everything that he can do. And those 2 games, he was just absolutely dog shit. And he told you as much today. So for him to bounce back, for him not to hang his head, and him to go out there and really recollect how he was playing at the beginning of the year, it's a very good sign going forward for a guy like that who, okay, yeah, I just played 2 shitty games, but I know I'm better than that. To go out there and prove it and be rewarded by winning a couple games, that's got to feel good for him. It's got to feel good for that defense as a whole, and it's got to feel good for Todd McClellan to see that these guys are responding to what he's preaching. They're responding to the words that he's telling them, and they're going out there, and when they do make a mistake, when they do have a blown assignment, because it's going to happen, they're young, it's the National Hockey League, there's a lot of great players in this league, you're going to get caught lacking, you're going to have somebody get behind the defense, you're going to have a blown assignment, an open shot in the slot. You just got to hope your goalie saves you, and then never do it again, and make sure you don't put yourself in that same situation. Mazur injured at Grand Rapids practice. Ooh, hopefully it's nothing too serious. Yeah, he is hot. He's got I think he's got a point, doing more than a point per game so far in GR. Hopefully he's all right. But oh man, that was, like I said, a 4-1 win or 5-2 win, however you want to call it. It feels good, obviously, but this one was extra special for me, like I said, because in that losing streak, in that 2.5 games of just complete terrible play from the Detroit Red Wings, they could not get the puck into the zone. They could not maintain offensive possessions, and they were just absolutely getting bullied in the neutral zone. But without even the return of a guy like Patrick Kane, you saw the other guys step up. You saw Finney, you saw Larkin, you saw Raymond, you saw these guys entering the zone with confidence with the puck on their stick and making plays. The passing was crisp. The opportunities were there. The power plays both looked great, even though they technically didn't get a shot on the second one. They were still, Sider just fanned on one, but they were making great passes. They were moving the puck around the zone very well. And as Wingnut says in the Woodward Sports Chat, that was a legit road win. And it is. It's hard to win on the road in the National Hockey League, and it's hard to go into a team that they know they're reeling. They know they have to bring the physicality. They can't get back too far, and they're trying to. I don't want to say it was a must win for St. Louis, but now you see that record start to tick down for them. So you know they really wanted this one. And you went out there and you took it from them, and you never looked back. After the first 10 minutes of the game, you had the game in a stranglehold, and you never looked back. So a great performance. Yeah, I saw Chicago dominate. Bedard's got a hat trick. Let's see. Are we getting a WSN after dark on Thursday and Friday, 10:30 and 10 o'clock starts respectively? Ooh. Well, probably not. Honestly, I'm going to tell you right there, because I wake up early on Friday to go to the gym before work, and then I go to Coonan after work. So maybe you'll get a hammered Spenny after, but I got to move in my house. So I don't know. We're big. I'll make sure Justin gets one of those. He's young. He can stay up. Man, I hate West Coast trips. There's 10 and 10:30 respectively. Come on, man. People on the West Coast don't even watch hockey. Just started at 3 o'clock Western time. Friday is Halloween. It is Halloween. It is. But nothing spooky about this Red Wings win, because you went out there and, like I said, from the 5-minute mark of the first period, you had this game. You were in the driver's seat and you didn't look back. And we saw set plays from the offense. We saw execution on the power play. We saw the penalty kill just continue to look fantastic. A shout out to Mason Appleton, dude. I fucking love that guy, Spartan dog. But it's little things like that really make me happy. It's little things like the tape-to-tape passing, the crispness that we saw on some of these power plays that set this team up for success going in the future. So I'm very excited for that win. You gotta stop the quick goals, says Wingnut. Yeah, that is something that obviously the first period has not been very comfortable for the Detroit Red Wings for the last couple games, and maybe that is the not having Patrick Kane out there effect. Maybe whatever it is, you got to stop that, because you can't get too far behind too quick and too often with a team that has this many young guys on it. And obviously, like I said, they did a great job of not letting it affect them. They did a great job of kind of pushing past that first Shen goal and then taking care of business the rest of the game. And that has a lot to do with the veteran leadership on this team. Like I said, Ben Sherratt. Guess who tied the game up? Guess who started the scoring for the Detroit Red Wings? One of the gray bushes on the back end. So I was very happy with that. I was very happy with the response, and I was very happy with the win for the Detroit Red Wings. I appreciate all you guys tapping in the Detroit Red Wings post-game show presented by Massage Chair House live on Woodward Sports. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. We're going to be doing this all season long. Obviously, this weekend's going to be tough with these West Coast trips and these games starting at 10 and 10:30. I'll tell you what, maybe we'll do a pregame show for the Thursday game. Maybe we'll do a pregame show at 9 o'clock or something like that, and instead of the post game, because I might not even stay up for that whole one. I'm not gonna lie, because I wake up at normally 6 o'clock on Friday morning. So maybe we'll do a pregame show on Thursday. I'll talk to Justin about that one. Appreciate you guys tapping in and staying with me. Make sure you smash that like button. Woodward Wings, we're having a blast. Love talking hockey. Love to be able to do it here with all of you guys. Make sure, again, you smash that like button. You share the stream. Woodward Wings to the moon. Red Wings win 5-2 in St. Louis to start the road trip. I'll see you guys later. Peace.